Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel, man. It's your boy, and as you can see, we have sneak peek number 3 right here before us, and it's expected. It's honestly expected. It is none other than Supergiant, but it's Supergiant and a little bit extra. So right there, if you've been around the block, right, listen carefully to that sound, boys, because it's basically telling us exactly what we want to know, right? So let me play it back for you one more time. As Supergiant appears, we hear basically the entry sound effect for when bosses appear in World Boss Ultimate, which means without a shadow of a doubt, Supergiant is getting her World Boss Ultimate stage. This is absolutely fantastic, boys. So now we have confirmation, right? So this is gonna definitely be a Black Order update, true and true. We expect to see like Ebony Maw and Proxima. We already kind of see in this already, right? But we expect to see the Maw close behind her, and then on top of that, we're also getting content, which is absolutely fantastic. The only problem I can see players having with something like this is they're basically going to be left wondering, how is this going to be a challenging fight when World Boss Ultimate right now, for players that are like super whale or just really ahead of the game, right, they have 25% pierce on their cards, so they can cut down stage 99 like it's nothing. So how is starting at stage 1 against Supergiant going to give us that, basically that challenge? Well, ladies and gentlemen, I think they found a way to do it, and it's very interesting that Supergiant is the boss that they're basically going to use to do this. Because when Supergiant first came out and we got a World Boss Ultimate stage for her, before the World Boss Ultimate system that we currently have in the game, there was another kind of World Boss Ultimate that only went up to stage 5. Supergiant was very different than any other boss currently in the game at that time, because the only characters that would do damage to her were the characters that you summoned. So the only top tier characters for Supergiant back in the day, back in like what, I think it was 2018, I can't even remember, it's been so long, right? The only characters that could do damage to Supergiant were like Kid Kaiju, Loki, and I think, could we use Kingpin on like level 1, stage 1? I can't even remember, bro. It's been so long. But basically, Supergiant was very different than every other World Boss Ultimate stage at the time, because the only characters that could do damage to her were characters that you summoned. So only summoned wielders could really do damage against her. And then they took that old World Boss Ultimate system and they reworked it into what we have today. And I think they're probably going to do something very similar to that for this version of Supergiant. Why I think that? Let's jump into the sneak peek. Actually, before we go, just so we don't have to come back, we get a glimpse of Proxima right here at 6 seconds. By the way, right, we got Proxima's head right here, we have the horns, and we have the spear, right? So this is like a jigsaw puzzle. It's all coming together. We got Cull, right? We got Corvus, we got Supergiant, we got Proxima, then the Maw is gonna be coming up, and then presumably the big bad Titan, King Thanos, you know, probably at the end, because I know a lot of you guys are excited for Thanos as well. And in case you can't tell, man, it's a big smile on my face because I'm really happy, right? I'm loving this, absolutely loving this, and I'm hoping that Thanos gets a uniform that makes him a PvE character, because at the end of the day, as much as I want PvP to be something that like Marvel Future Fight is known for, Marvel Future Fight at the end of the day to me is a PvE game with a little bit of PvP sprinkled in there. That's just what it is, right? So having a character like Thanos and is always relegating him to simply being a PvP character is very limiting, right? And I want to just see the Titan flex in PvE. That's just it, man. So let's jump into the sneak peek, boys. It's spicy. So let's start. All right, so coming over to the Future Fight forums here, sneak peek number 3, we have the typical greetings from CM Fragment, of course, and then he says, this supervillain possesses a different type of ability from the 2 already revealed. Members of the villainous alien team, are you ready to overcome this powerful mind control ability. So here's the thing, Supergiant, even though she's an omnipath, actually does not have mind control in her kit. It's actually quite interesting, boys, that a character, well, I guess because she was revealed, or like released, I should say, that's a better word, because she was released so long ago, like long before mind control was in the game. I guess that's why she never got mind control in her kit, but presumably we could be seeing a new type of mind control come to the game, similar to how Professor X has his own type of mind control. In case you guys don't know, like typical mind control, like for Scarlet Witch or Rachel Summers, when they mind control somebody, they actually turn them against each other and they will fight each other. So if there's multiple targets on the field and then they're mind controlled, if you look at them in like Shadowland or whatever, they'll fight each other. With Professor X, when he mind controls people, they don't attack each other. They just basically like become like puppets. I guess it's like standing around with those I guess what looks like their soul or their spirit being like tormented, right? It's very interesting. So there's two types of mind control already in the game. I'll probably show you guys later in the video if we have time. And then we could presumably be seeing a new type of mind control from Supergiant. It's actually really, really cool. And anyways, let's jump over to Twitter before we jump in game, because there's some other things I want to talk about, okay? After expanding the psychic reach of her powers, this galactic omnipath has now proven to be the ultimate threat. This right here should also give you a clue that we are getting the World Boss Ultimate stage for her. If the music wasn't enough, like that entry, like I don't even know what to call that sound, but I've heard it so many times, because if you're a content creator, when you're testing characters, you die a lot, or at least I know I die a lot, so I can speak from personal experience. I probably have like millions of deaths racked up over the like 6 years of me playing this game. So that sound, when I hear it in this trailer, like it's like a bell ringing. You can identify it no matter where you are, right? So that right there tells me that we're getting the ultimate stage for Supergiant, and I am very much so looking forward to it. For any of you guys who don't know what an omnipath is, basically it's like an omega level telepath. Supergiant has the ability to read and control the minds of people from any race. It doesn't matter, right? She's like incredibly powerful. In the comics, I believe they describe Supergiant as like a mind parasite, right? She just like feeds off people's minds. So yeah, it's pretty like diabolical power. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how they make her mind control different yet stronger than anything we've ever seen. But for sure, we're gonna get some type of like crowd control from her now, whereas before she didn't, right? But will her mind control, being stronger than anything we've ever seen, be strong enough to affect War Boss Legend? Or has the game not progressed to that state where we can now, you know, like start putting in effects that will affect War Boss Legends? I think we're still, since we are, in my opinion, still in the infancy of War Boss Legend stages, I think it's way too soon to be getting effects that will affect them. How many times are we gonna say effect? But yeah, I think even though this is gonna be like a new type of mind control, presumably a more powerful form, I don't think it will work on Legends, or at least I wouldn't want it to. I still like the idea of the Legends just being like immune to everything except just raw damage, personally. I think maybe like in a couple years or whatever, when we've gotten like more Legends and stronger characters or better uniforms or whatnot, then we can start toying with their minds. But for now, I think they should be immune to everything. That's just me, right? Anyways, let's jump in the game and let's talk some more about Supergiant, what they could do for her and all that good stuff, man. All right, so for any of you guys who've never basically seen Supergiant like fully built up, or you've never bothered to look at her skills because your favorite content creators, myself included, right? I've told you that she's trash and she's not world building, which at this point, currently, without the uniform or whatever upgrade she gets, she's not world building. It's just the truth, right? But that will change hopefully next week. Hopefully, fingers crossed. You can see for yourself, even though she's an omnipath, which is an incredibly powerful telepath, right? She has no form of mind control in her kit whatsoever. And let me just, while I'm at it, let me show you the different types of mind control, since they did mention mind control in their sneak peek here. Where is my lovely Scarlet Witch? Hello, my baby. I forgot that she's universal now. Actually, this is not the best uniform to demonstrate the mind control, because the mind control with this uniform is actually not as good. They nerfed the mind control with that uniform. Okay, buddy, fat fingers. All right, where is she now? Okay, she's down here. You know what? The rocks might actually keep hitting them, so you might not be able to see them hitting each other, but let's just see. Okay, let's turn on the AI. Okay, you can see them targeting each other, right? The ones that are mind controlled are shooting the ones that are not mind controlled. And even if they're both mind controlled, they're both shooting each other, right? The one that's not mind controlled is the only one that's shooting me. And then if I change to Professor X and I use his mind control ability, like Mind Blast, you can see they're basically just in agony, right? Okay, that one is guard breaking them, so that's not a good demonstration. But you can basically see Professor X's mind control is completely different than Scarlet Witch's mind control. So I'm very curious to see which one they actually give to Supergiant. Is it going to be more closely related to Scarlet Witch's mind control, turning your enemies like into your, I guess, your allies, and then turning them against each other to fight? Or will it be more like Professor X's mind control, which is more like a pacifist, like he's just like basically limiting their movement so he can do damage to them, whereas he's not making them harm themselves? It'll be interesting to see what they actually do for her mind control. But besides that, they do need to revamp her kit from top to bottom. I think she needs more survivability for one. Like, she has very little survivability. I think she has like a full iframe on her 5th skill here, and the tracking on this thing is really bad. Like, the enemy can easily move out of those bubbles. But back in the day, using her 3rd skill to get that 40% mind damage buff, and then using this skill actually did decent damage. She also has a summon, for those of you guys who I guess forgot or don't know. This is also one of the ways that she would do damage against herself when you unlocked her and used her in World Boss Ultimate, the old World Boss Ultimate, because Black Bolt is a summon. You can see like her kit is just very bad. There's no crowd control in here. Besides just doing like your 3 and your 5, you pretty much would just run around with her, right? She does have silence. I wonder if they're gonna change the passive silence that she has on her 4-star passive to like a passive mind control when she's attacking. That would actually be pretty interesting. We don't have anything like that yet, but I think if they do keep her like as a mind-based character, which they more than likely will, and probably get rid of the Black Bolt summon, or maybe give her more summons, I don't know, right? I don't know what they want to do with her. I think illusionary summons or summons that don't pull aggro would be better for her. But either way, it looks like a judgment is in her future if you actually care about her and she becomes as strong as she should be, I guess, for, I know, mega level like telepath, right? Some type of accumulation would be nice to replace this. The dodge isn't too bad because she's very fragile, but I'm hoping that changes. But accumulation or like a frenzy buff, because you can see besides this 3rd skill buff, there's not really too much going on here, right? But less about Supergiant and more about content, right? Because we get uniforms all the time, and I'm pretty sure worst case scenario they do a decent job on Supergiant. So let's talk about what I would like to see out of an ultimate stage for Supergiant, because I think that's very important, even more important than getting the uniforms in this update, because most people right now in the game have one of their cards crafted, right? At least one. Maybe if you're brand new, you don't, right? If you're just starting like this month, you don't. It's probably gonna take you like a month to like build up enough cubes and stuff and get a card that you like to craft, right? Maybe 3 months before you get a good card that you like to craft. But point is, with Pierce now in the game, and I would say at least 50% of the players who've been playing having some form of Pierce, whether it's 2, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, etc. World Boss Ultimate stages, they're basically looking like food these days, looking like a little quick snack. They ain't looking like the whole meal, you feel me? They're looking like the appetizer, right? Whereas these guys right here are looking like dinner, right? So how they gonna make this more appealing, right? How are they gonna make guaranteed CCF and a chance of getting a reforge, as slim as it may be? But like when this first came out, people sent me screenshots saying they got it, right? But anyways, how they gonna make this more appealing to players that just want to get the guaranteed CCF? Well, I think one thing they could do and one thing they should do is make it so that her stage, well, for one, the difficulty needs to be there. It needs to challenge the vets who've invested quite a bit in their account. I don't think anybody would care if Supergiant's ultimate stage ended up being harder or as difficult as Thanos. At this point, I think it should be harder than Thanos' ultimate stage just because of how late it's coming, right? And I think one of the ways they're going to end up making it as difficult, and I think some free-to-players are going to be very, very, very upset about this, is this way. They're going to make it so that only characters, or maybe they'll say, maybe not only characters, but let's say if you don't have mind resistance, you take 50% more damage from Supergiant. I think this might be one, right? Or you do 50% less damage. So your Moon Knights, your Iron Fist, your Sharon Rogers, your Sentries, all them characters will still do a bunch of damage, but because they don't have mind resistance, right? They don't have the mental fortitude to deal with Supergiant, they do less damage and they take more damage, right? I think that would be an interesting way for them to go about this. However, if you look at the characters who have the mind resistance tag, only one of them, well, two of them actually, do we use regularly in World Boss Legend. You can see Magneto, Professor X. Jean Grey you could use, but most people, myself included, we use Jean for PvP because she is toxic, right? The epitome of cancer. Physical representation of it too, right? However, with two of these characters getting uniforms and they have the mind resistance tag, you might be looking at a shift in the meta. You might be looking at a shift in who's top tier for World Boss when we're talking about World Boss tier list next month. Just keep that in mind, because if Supergiant still drops, let me just jump over here right quick, right? Supergiant, when you level up her Conqueror level, which right now everybody should have it at 1, because why the hell would you be playing against her right now? But like when you level up her Conqueror thing, just go here this way, you actually get this thing. You get Odin's Blessings of Magic, and this is the one that gives you double energy attack. That's like the most precious one, right? And if that's the case, more than likely from her ultimate stage, she's gonna drop magic as well, and people will want to play her for double magic. The way how you could tell is like Thanos, for example. When you level up Thanos's thing, he drops resistance, and then if you go, actually Thanos is a bad example because I think he drops all, no, he drops them. See? The same one that he gives you when you level up his Conqueror level is the same one that he gives you when you clear him, or gives you a chance of getting when you clear him. So more than likely, Supergiant is going to be super difficult because of the fact that she drops the most precious of Odin's blessings, right? And because she's coming so late. So I think one way they're going to basically try and make her, I don't want to say it like premium, because like it is what it is, right? I think this is kind of premium because all these characters here, like you have 2 tier 2 natives, they're free, but it's gonna take you time to build them up if you're new. And then we have Jean Grey and Magneto. That's an epic quest that you have to complete. Professor X, you have to go through Danger Room and jump through hoops and hurdles and play regularly to get 10 bios. However, they did just give out a Mega Mythic uniform ticket, so if you pick up this uniform, your Professor X might be raring to go, right? I personally don't use Professor X in World Boss Legend very often because I find him to basically like be very fragile against Mephisto, because he needs to be up in the face of Mephisto. I don't like that very much. And then for Null, I just have characters that I prefer using over Professor X. So if they make it so that for Supergiant, you need characters with mind resistance, Professor X looking like a whole different beast, right? Because Emma Frost not gonna register, I'm sorry. Ronan not gonna register, I'm sorry. Maximus not gonna register unless they give him a uniform in this as well. I think he's not gonna get nothing. That's just me, right? So ladies and gentlemen, I don't want to keep you much longer. We're 20 minutes deep. Let me know what you think of Supergiant getting her World Boss Ultimate stage. Let me know what you guys think of them possibly making it so that to do, I guess, full damage against Supergiant, you need to have mind resistance, or you take more damage from her if you don't have it. Whichever one they want to do, I think it's fitting for the character, right? But again, because it's fitting doesn't mean people are gonna like it, because the options are gonna be limited, and it just so happens that the options are expensive, whether it's through crystals or materials. But it is what it is. Oh, before we go, I guess I'll load into War Boss one time so y'all can hear that like iconic sound, right? And before anybody says, oh, they're not going to do anything with the whole mine resistance thing, just keep in mind that for Corvus Glaive characters, the only characters that do full damage against him are speed types. And that's one of the reasons, well, actually, that's one of the primary reasons why Deadpool is so good against this guy, because he's a speed type and he does full damage against Corvus Glaive. But let me just jump in right quick and you can hear the sound. I'll shut up for a second here. Just listen. When he drops down, you can hear that sound. Right there. That's the same sound that you heard in the trailer when Supergiant popped on screen. So definitely a War Boss Ultimate stage coming for her. And just like how this guy right here, let me just pull it up for you, Deadpool. You can go ahead and die. This thing, this thing. Just like how this thing, as you can see, 50% damage decrease from Universal Combat and Blast characters. Yeah, I feel like they can do that. Just 50% 50% less damage from anybody who doesn't have the mine resistance tag. All right, boys, so we're gonna wrap it up here. Thank you guys so much for watching. Oh, before we go, I know y'all gonna be wondering. I'm wondering too. Well, goddamn! Well, goddamn, boys! That's nice. I thought I was gonna get authority. Honestly, we're like what you call it, an egg, but that's nice. That's nice. What's the roll on it? But goddamn, boys, if Cole actually turns out to be a PvP monster, we got 3 of them on deck. It's not real properly, but it's all right. Beggars can be choosers. Actually, that's not true. I've met some choosy beggars, believe it or not.